Have you ever found yourself constantly trying to get someone's attention? Maybe it's someone you like, someone you care about deeply, a partner, a friend, a crush, and it just feels like you're the only one making any effort. You send the first message. You ask them how their day was. You show up for them time and time again, and yet they barely notice you. It's like you're invisible until they need something. That kind of imbalance can feel devastating. You start to question everything. Do they even care? Am I just not enough? What more do I have to do? You're not alone in feeling this way. Understanding the problem. Before we dive into solutions, let's take a moment to really understand the root of this frustration. Why do we find ourselves chasing people's attention in the first place? Often it comes from a place of fear. Fear of being ignored, of being forgotten, of being rejected. We think, if I don't try harder, they'll forget about me. So we double down. We text more. We call more. We give more. But ironically, the more we push for someone's attention, the more they seem to pull away. They might start to seem annoyed, distant, or even cold. And that's because, according to relationship experts, chasing someone often creates pressure. It makes them feel cornered, like they're being smothered. Think of it like this. Attention that's freely given is beautiful, but attention that's extracted through pressure, guilt, or desperation, that doesn't feel good for either person. And that's where things start to break down. So what can you do instead? What if, rather than fighting for someone's attention, you could shift the dynamic entirely and make them start chasing you? Let's talk about how. Step 1. Stop chasing them. The very first and most crucial step is to stop chasing. This might sound counterintuitive, especially if you feel like your connection with this person is slipping away. But continuing to chase will only solidify the perception that you're desperate, overly available, or clingy. That's not attractive. And more importantly, it's not healthy for you. Stopping the chase doesn't mean giving someone the silent treatment or playing manipulative games. It means reclaiming your power. Stop sending double texts. Stop always initiating plans. Stop rearranging your life around someone who won't even prioritize you. Create space. Let them miss you. When someone is used to constant access to your attention, stepping back resets the dynamic. Suddenly, you're no longer available on demand. And that mystery, that absence, speaks volumes. Step 2. Take responsibility for your emotions. Another reason we chase is because we link our emotions, our happiness, to how another person treats us. When they ignore us, we feel worthless. When they reply, we feel validated. This is dangerous. It puts all the power in their hands. You have to break this pattern by taking full responsibility for your own emotional well-being. Instead of thinking, if they text me, I'll feel better. Shift your mindset to, I'm okay either way. My happiness is mine to create. This is where personal development plays a huge role. Start filling your life with things that nourish you. Your passions, your hobbies, your friends, your goals. Because here's a truth most people overlook. Emotional independence is incredibly attractive. When someone sees that you're happy, confident, and fulfilled without them, they begin to wonder, wait, why isn't this person chasing me anymore? That curiosity can be the spark that reignites their interest. But more importantly, it will make you feel stronger, more in control, and more at peace. Step 3. Live according to your values. Chasing attention often causes us to compromise our own values. We say yes when we mean no. We let things slide. We tolerate behavior that doesn't align with our standards, all because we're afraid to lose someone. But what's the cost? Losing yourself. Living according to your values means getting clear on what really matters to you. Honesty, kindness, ambition, loyalty, whatever your core principles are, and sticking to them no matter what. This kind of self-respect is magnetic. When you show that you're willing to walk away from anything that doesn't align with who you are, people take notice. Suddenly the dynamic flips. Now you are the prize. It also helps filter out the people who aren't meant for you. Because if someone doesn't respect your values, they're not right for you. no matter how much you might want their attention. Step 4. Show interest without being needy. Let's be clear. Being emotionally independent doesn't mean becoming cold, detached, or playing games. It's okay to show someone you're interested. In fact, it's important. But there's a huge difference between healthy interest and emotional dependence. Here's how to show interest without looking needy. Be honest about how you feel, but don't beg for reciprocation. Be supportive, but don't sacrifice your own well-being to do it. Be available, but not always available. Let your actions align with your words, and expect the same in return. Trust is built when someone sees that you're consistent, confident, and respectful, not when you overwhelm them with attention. Step 5. Become the best version of yourself. This isn't just about attracting someone else. It's about becoming someone you admire. Start setting meaningful goals and working toward them. Focus on improving areas of your life that matter to you. Your health, your career, your relationships, your mindset. Be someone who lights up a room, not because you're trying to impress anyone, but because you've built a life that genuinely makes you proud. When you do this, everything changes. You stop needing external validation because you've found internal strength. And that's when the shift happens. Not just in how others see you, but in how you see yourself. If you've ever felt like you're always chasing, always fighting, just to be seen, then you know how exhausting that is. You deserve better. You deserve connection that feels mutual, effort that's reciprocated, love that doesn't make you beg for it. This first part of the journey is about reclaiming your power. By stepping back, finding your emotional strength, living by your values, and starting to become the best version of you. Now that you've taken a step back from chasing and started focusing on your own growth, things are beginning to shift. Maybe you're feeling stronger. Maybe you're just starting to realize that your time, your energy, your attention, these are precious, and not everyone deserves unlimited access to them. But how do you keep building from here? How do you maintain your progress without slipping back into the old patterns? The next few steps are designed to help you go from feeling better to actually becoming the kind of person who naturally attracts better relationships, where love and effort flow both ways. Let's keep going. Step 6. Be patient with them and yourself. One of the most difficult parts of this process is patience. We live in a world of instant gratification, texts, likes, notifications. So when someone we care about doesn't respond the way we hoped, our first reaction is to panic. But relationships, especially the ones that are worth having, aren't built overnight. It might take time for the person you like to notice the changes in you, especially if you've been chasing them for a while. They're used to a version of you that was always available, always trying. When you step back, it may confuse them at first, or it may take them a while to realize what they're missing. The key is not to rush the process. Stay consistent with the changes you're making, not for their attention, but because this version of you is healthier, stronger, and more grounded. Patience also means giving yourself grace. You might slip up. You might find yourself reaching out impulsively or feeling hurt when they don't respond. That's okay. Change is messy. Growth isn't linear. What matters most is that you stay aware and keep choosing yourself every single time. Step 7. Never take things personally. When someone ignores you or pulls away, it can feel deeply personal, almost like a rejection of your entire self. But in reality, most of the time, it's not about you at all. People are complicated. They have their own issues, insecurities, fears, distractions. Sometimes they're emotionally unavailable. Sometimes they're just not ready. And sometimes they're just not your person. But here's the truth. Their behavior is a reflection of them, not a definition of you. When you stop taking things personally, you protect your peace. You realize that your worth doesn't fluctuate based on someone else's ability to recognize it. That is a powerful place to be. It also allows you to show compassion to them and to yourself, because you're no longer wrapped up in the story that you need to be chosen to matter. You already matter, and anyone who can't see that, that's on them. Step 8. Show them you're wanted by others. This step can feel tricky, so let's be clear. The goal is not to make someone jealous for the sake of it. The goal is to live in such a way that you naturally attract other people, experiences, and opportunities because you are aligned with your best self. When you do that, people notice. They see you laughing with others. They see you being admired, respected, loved, and something happens. A psychological principle known as social proof kicks in. Humans are wired to value what others value. So when someone sees that you're wanted, they begin to reassess your value in their own mind. This doesn't mean you should fake popularity or chase validation. It just means get out there, meet new people, try new things, say yes to the party, go on that date, start the passion project you've been putting off, expand your world. When you become someone who is busy living a full, vibrant life, others will want to be a part of it, including, very likely, the person you once chased. Step 9. Be willing to walk away. This is the step that changes everything. Being willing to walk away doesn't mean you want to walk away. It just means you can, if you need to. And that's what makes it so powerful. Most people stay in situations where they're undervalued because they're afraid of losing the other person. But when you flip the script, when you realize that losing someone who doesn't see your worth is actually freedom, everything changes. Suddenly you stop tolerating breadcrumbs. You stop accepting excuses. You stop begging for basic respect. And here's the paradox. When you're truly willing to walk away, you often don't have to, because people sense that energy. They feel that shift, and it wakes them up. They realize you're not like everyone else. You're not desperate. You're not going to settle. If they want a place in your life, they need to earn it. That's not arrogance. That's self-respect, and it's magnetic. Detachment is not indifference. As you learn to walk away, as you build your emotional independence, you might worry that you're becoming cold, detached, closed off. But there's an important difference between detachment and indifference. Indifference is not caring at all. Detachment is caring deeply, while knowing you'll be okay no matter what happens. Detachment allows you to love without losing yourself, to care without controlling, to give without needing. It's the foundation of every healthy relationship, and it's something you build when you stop chasing and start choosing yourself. By now, you're not just pulling back from someone else. You're pulling back into yourself. You're learning how to protect your energy, how to love yourself better, and how to stop giving your power away to someone who hasn't earned it. You've stopped the chase. You've taken back control of your emotions. You're becoming the person you were always meant to be. And slowly but surely people will notice. The right ones will be drawn to you. Not because you begged for their attention, but because you no longer need it to feel whole. You've made the changes. You stopped chasing. You've been focusing on your growth, building your life, becoming stronger. And then it happens. They come back. They text. They like your photo. They ask how you've been. Suddenly, the person who once made you feel invisible is acting like they've just realized you exist. This moment can feel confusing. Part of you might feel validated. Finally, they noticed me. But another part of you might be afraid. What if I fall back into the same pattern? This part of your journey is critical, because how you handle this shift will either reinforce your self-worth or throw you back into the old cycle of chasing and emotional dependency. Let's talk about how to stay grounded and make decisions that protect your peace and keep your power intact. 1. Take a pause before responding. When someone comes back into your life, especially someone you once chased, your first instinct may be to respond right away. You might feel a rush of adrenaline, excitement, even hope. Pause. You are not the same person who would drop everything to reply. Give yourself space to process. Ask yourself, why are they reaching out now? What do I truly want from this? You don't need to play games, but you do need to respond from a place of clarity, not emotional reactivity. 2. Reflect on their past behavior. Before you open the door again, take a serious look at how they treated you before. Were they consistent, respectful, emotionally available? Or did they breadcrumb you, ignore you, make you feel small? It's easy to romanticize someone once they're gone, especially when they come back acting sweet or interested. But history matters. If nothing has changed on their end, if they haven't taken responsibility for how they treated you, then giving them another chance might only lead to more disappointment. You deserve more than half effort. You deserve someone who sees your worth without needing to lose you first. 3. Don't abandon your growth for temporary validation. This is where many people fall back into the trap. You've worked hard to become the best version of yourself. You've learned to be emotionally independent. You've stopped chasing. But the moment someone shows interest again, especially someone you once cared deeply about, it can be tempting to throw all that progress away just to feel seen. Please don't. Your growth isn't a tactic. It's not something you use to get their attention. It's your new standard. If they want to be in your life, they need to meet you where you are now, not where you were before. That means consistency, respect, emotional availability, clear intentions. Anything less than that? Not worth your time. 4. Communicate with strength, not bitterness. Let's say you decide to respond to them. That's okay. You don't need to ignore or punish them. But your tone should reflect your strength. You don't need to say, "Where were you all this time?" Or, "Now you care, huh?" That energy just shows that they still have emotional power over you. Instead, speak with calm confidence. Try, "It's been a while. I've been doing well and focusing on myself." Or, "Nice to hear from you. Hope you've been well." This shows you're not angry, but also not eager to go back to the old dynamic. You're composed, grounded, unbothered, and that more than anything is magnetic. 5. Watch their actions, not their words. If they're serious about reconnecting, they'll show it. They won't just text once and disappear. They won't play games or leave you guessing. They'll be consistent. They'll follow through. They'll ask to see you, and they'll make the effort to rebuild trust. Words are easy, but actions always tell the truth. If they say they've changed, they'll show you. If they say they care, they'll prove it. You don't need to rush back into anything. Let time reveal their intentions. 6. Set new boundaries and standards. This is your moment to rewrite the rules. If they want back into your life, they're not stepping into the same version of you they once knew. You've evolved. You have new boundaries now. You have higher standards. So make that clear, not with threats or ultimatums, but through how you carry yourself. Don't over-explain. Don't rearrange your schedule for them. Don't respond immediately every time. Don't accept crumbs just because you used to be starving. This isn't about revenge or playing hard to get. It's about protecting your peace and honoring your growth. You teach people how to treat you by what you tolerate and what you don't. 7. Be honest with yourself about what you want. Sometimes when someone returns, we get caught up in how they came back, but we forget to ask ourselves if we still want them. Ask yourself, do I still genuinely want a connection with this person? Can I trust them to show up consistently? Are they aligned with the kind of relationship I now seek? Just because you once wanted them doesn't mean you still do. You're allowed to grow out of people. You're allowed to say, "Thanks, but I've moved on." And if they don't match the kind of partner you've been working to attract, walking away might be the best gift you give yourself. 8. Remember, you don't need closure from them. A lot of people let someone back in just to get closure. They want answers, apologies, validation. But here's the truth. You don't need their words to heal. You don't need their permission to move on. You don't need their presence to feel whole. Closure is something you give yourself when you accept what happened, learn from it, and decide to grow from it. If they give you sincere closure, great. But if they don't, that's okay too. You already know everything you need to know by how they treated you before and how they act now. When the person you once chased finally notices your absence, it can be tempting to see it as a win, as proof that your strategy worked. But remember, this was never about getting them back. This was about getting yourself back. You've learned to stop chasing. You've learned to value your own energy. You've raised your standards. Now, you're in a place of power. If someone wants to be part of your life, they need to match your energy, not drain it. Sometimes, despite all your growth, healing, and inner work, the person you once chased never comes back. No message, no apology, no acknowledgement of what they meant to you or what you went through because of them. It's silence. And at first it might hurt more than anything. But let's be honest about something important. Not everyone is meant to return. And not everyone deserves to. In fact, them staying away may be the clearest sign that they were never the right person in the first place. And that's not your loss, that's your freedom. This part is for you if you've done the work, but you're still left with the ache of unanswered questions, missing closure, or simply the silence of someone who never realized what they had. It's time to shift your focus entirely, from wondering why they didn't come back, to asking yourself, where am I going next? 1. Their absence is a message in itself. We often wait for people to give us answers. We want the why. We want the apology. We want proof that we mattered. But sometimes, the lack of a response is the clearest answer of all. If someone didn't see your worth, even after you pulled back and focused on yourself, then they were never capable of giving you the kind of connection you deserve. And that's not a reflection of your value. It's a reflection of their capacity. You were never too much. You just offered depth to someone who could only meet you at the surface. 2. Use their silence as a catalyst for expansion. Now that this person is no longer the center of your emotional world, you've cleared space for something new, better, healthier, more aligned. Use that space. Use this silence. Start saying yes to your next chapter. Reinvest all the energy you once gave to them into yourself. Take the trip. Start the project. Join the class. Say hello to new people. Start healing not because you have to, but because you get to. When you begin filling your life with purpose, passion, and connection, you stop waiting for people who aren't meant to join you in your future. You build a world so full that their absence doesn't echo anymore. 3. Focus on attraction, not persuasion. In the past, maybe you tried to convince someone to choose you. You showed them how loyal you were, how much you cared, how deeply you were willing to go. But love that has to be persuaded is love that will never feel secure. Real connection doesn't require convincing. It's mutual. It's fluid. It flows. Your job now is not to fight for someone's attention, but to become someone who naturally attracts the right attention without chasing, begging, or proving. This comes from alignment, when your values, energy, and boundaries speak so clearly that the right people can't help but be drawn to you. 4. Create a relationship with yourself that feels unshakable. When you no longer rely on others to give you emotional validation, you begin to build something sacred. A relationship with yourself that no one can take away. This is your foundation. Speak to yourself with kindness. Keep promises to yourself. Protect your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Spend time alone, not as punishment but as investment. Because the more secure you are in yourself, the less you tolerate chaos, inconsistency, or half-love from anyone else. You no longer chase, not because you're bitter, but because you're rooted. 5. Let go of fantasies and embrace what's real. Sometimes we're not holding on to a person. We're holding on to the idea of them. The fantasy of who they could have been, if only they had chosen us. If only they had changed. If only they had seen our worth. But fantasy will starve you. Reality will feed you. Start noticing the people who are showing up. The friends who check in. The moments that bring joy. The new people entering your life who see you clearly. You've outgrown people who only saw you through a fog of their own limitations. Now you're ready for real, not fantasy. 6. Don't close yourself off. Open up more intentionally. A common mistake after being ignored or rejected is closing your heart entirely. You might start thinking, I'll never care again. I won't let anyone close again. I'll keep my guard up forever. That might feel safe, but it's not healing. True strength is not in closing off. It's in being selectively open. Open to those who deserve it. Open to love that's mutual. Open to relationships that are built on trust, not guesswork. You're not here to live behind emotional walls. You're here to love deeply, bravely, and wisely. Let the right ones in, and let the wrong ones go. No bitterness, just clarity. 7. Redefine what you deserve. You used to chase because you thought you had to earn love. Prove your worth. Be chosen. But here's your new truth. You are worthy simply because you exist. You deserve someone who chooses you without hesitation. Conversations where you don't have to beg to be understood. Love that's safe, steady, and expansive. A connection where you never have to wonder if you're too much. Let that be your new standard. Not because you're arrogant, but because you've finally remembered who you are. 8. Celebrate that they didn't come back. Yes, celebrate it, because now you're free to love without compromise. Free to heal without distraction. Free to find someone who doesn't just notice you, but shows up for you, listens to you, meets you where you are. Their silence gave you space. Their absence gave you answers. And their lack of effort, that gave you your freedom. Thank them, silently if you need to, and move forward without resentment. You're not missing out. You're moving up. You're no longer the chaser. You're the chooser. This isn't just about one person. It's about reclaiming your power after a lifetime of shrinking yourself to fit inside someone else's comfort zone. You are no longer chasing love. You are attracting it, effortlessly, magnetically, unapologetically. And here's the best part. The more you embody your worth, the less you tolerate people who don't see it. The less you try to prove yourself, the more peace you find. So whether they came back or stayed away, it doesn't matter anymore. You're not waiting. You're not watching. You're living. The right ones will recognize you. And when they do, you won't have to chase. Because you've finally become the person who no longer needs to.